Welcome to WGTV, episode 86. I'm your host Adam, and today I'm going to be bringing you a game of Age of Sigmar 2000 points from the General's Handbook 2024 through to 2025. If you've not been here before, then welcome. If you enjoy the show, don't forget, maybe you might be like to like, comment, subscribe even. Heck, check out the website. Got lots of cool events going on. Maybe you could pop down to the studio, see what's going on. If you're a returning viewer, thank you. It really does mean a lot to me, and you must have liked it the first time. Just a little bit even, just to come back one more time. And of course, my patrons, my Wargorians. Where would I be without you? A huge round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You just make this so easy to do, and it really does mean a lot to me. And there are two people that I get to get a shout out for who have joined us on their patronage. So a shout out to Jason Hardcastle. Thank you very much, Jason. You're a star. And also to Stephen Coombs as well. Thank you so much. You're an absolute legends. You both are. So, on with the show. You'll notice I'm completely by myself. Now, maybe another show where I play myself. Not this time, no. In the wings, I have got two fantastic chaps. I've got Adam and I've got Craig. And they're going to be running tonight against each other. Adam is going to be taking the Sons of Behemat. Meanwhile, Craig is going to be running the Maggotkin of Nurgle. Yeah, so we're going to see little hard to hit things versus massive things that like to smash everything together. So, not quite sure how it's going to go, but we'll have a little look in a minute at their armies. Before we do though, there is the one more little thing that we need to do. Don't forget, we are going to be looking for this guy. So, at some point, yes, Gotrek is going to be hidden around the tables, or maybe on the shelves, maybe behind Craig, maybe behind Adam, maybe behind me, I don't know. But somewhere tonight on the show, he'll be there. And if you see him, don't forget to shout out the time that you saw him and where he was in the comments below. Now, before we see those lovely armies, we first need to find out what scenario we're going to be playing. Now, some say that proportionally, he's as strong as a horse. Some would almost say as large as one. All we know is he's called the Cleric.
Scorched Earth. Sometimes battles are fought not to destroy the enemy, but to seize their resources and carry them off. Raiding parties will strike into enemy territory, capturing an objective and searching for any hidden treasures before razing what remains to the ground to deny its use to the enemy. Each player scores victory points at the end of each of their turns as follows. Score 2 victory points if you control. Score 2 victory points if you control 2 or more objectives. Score 2 victory points if you control more objectives than your opponent. Score 4 victory points if you completed the battle tactic you chose to attempt this turn. The twist. From the second battle round, at the end of their turn, after scoring victory points, the active player can pick one objective that is wholly within enemy territory that they control and that is being contested by any of their units. That objective is removed from play. At the start of the battle round, the underdog can pick one objective in their territory that they control. Until the end of the battle round, they can subtract 5 from the control scores of enemy units contesting that objective to a minimum of 1, and let battle commence.
Welcome, dear viewers, to the Garden of Nurgle. Here we have a Maggotkin of Nurgle army. We're going to start off with our General's Regiment. We are led by Morbidex Twiceborn, leader of the Nurglings, and we do have some Nurglings coming up later. And in his regiment, 10 Blightkings, the reinforced unit. We're going to move swiftly over to Horticulus Slimax and his little band of beasts. We have 2 beasts for you this evening. He's going to be shepherding them around the board and see where they can make friends around. Following up, we have the Great Unclean One. He's got his 3rd regiment in touch. Now he has with him some some plague flies. They're going to be buzzing their way to victory. And then those Nurglings, we found them. To back this up, we have our manifestation deck, the Primal manifestations. Burning Jaws, Emerald Life Swarm, Burning Head. We're in the Tallyband sub-regiment. We have a Wither Stave on the Great Unclean One, and he's also blessed by the Grandfather.
Welcome to the Sons of Behemat as they stomp into town. We'll start with the General, who is King Brod, my named character there, and he is going to lead a Breaker tribe, which means any Gargants within 3 inches of each other get a 6-up ward save. With him in his General's regiment is Grimmy the Gatebreaker, who has the monstrously tough trait and also is carrying his little glowy lantern, which allows him to cast the manifestation law, the primal magic. And then they are joined by one other regiment, which is Fester the Beast Smasher and Stompy the War Stomper. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the fingerprints of scum. We spied the Nurgle across the table, and the Sons of Behemat didn't take kindly to these horrible little things over there. So we took first turn, and we decided to take the initiative there. And we decided to seize the centre and claim the battlefield for our own. Brod attempted to pray. He rolled a 2, so we've stuck that in the bank for later. And Grimmy, using his little glowy lantern, decided to try and cast the Gnashing Jaws, which he duly got out. Craig was unable to unbind that. And that was the hero phase, because that's how we roll. So
I did try to cast some, but Nurgle didn't want me to. He had other plans.
So, magically dominant, who knew? So the movement phase was fairly straightforward. The Gargants do what they do and just stomped forward a bit. So my General's regiment came and claimed the centre, as per was our tactic. The Beast Smasher Fester came up behind them here. I thought maybe if the Great Unclean One gets involved, he might be useful. And the War Stomper was a little bit blocked in by this rock and this wood, so all he could really do was move around here. You did a redeploy?
I did a redeploy of one of the Beasts of Nurgle, shepherd up, to take advantage of their ability later on.
We'll tell you why they're not there in a minute.
You could probably guess viewers.
As this confident little Beast of Nurgle moved up, I thought, throw a rock at him. So we did, and caused 3 wounds, I think. So he took a rock to the face. And then we went into charges, and actually there was only one attempted charge by the Sons, and that was with the Stomper, who only rolled a 6 and therefore couldn't actually charge anything. However, that wasn't the end of the charge phase, was it?
No. So the Beasts of Nurgle have the Attention Seeker's ability, which lets me charge in any charge phase. And of course, seize the centre, you can't be in combat for. So both Beasts of Nurgle ran in, and we both succeeded in successful charges, doing a total of 5 mortal wounds between 2 Gargants, because apparently you're sponsored by the number 1. Who knew? Who knew? Back to the Gargants.
But yeah, 2 little puppies charged 2 great big Gargants. So I think we now know what happened to those Beasts of Nurgle.
The tactics were sound, just
Grimmy
not the end
basically
result.
picked up one and throttled it with his death grip, and Brod swung his obelisk and just pulverised the other one. So being in combat was no longer a problem, and Although we held 4 objectives, we didn't hold more, but we did get the battle tactic, so we are sitting on 8 points going into Nurgle turn 1.
Well, dear viewers, the Gargants have encroached on the Garden of Nurgle, and Nurgle is not happy. But Nurgle giveth and Nurgle taketh away, so we shall descend into our turn 1. We picked our battle tactic, take the flanks. The centre, I dare say, is not really achievable at this moment. It's occupied, so we'll stay away from that. We next decided to cast some spells with our Great Unclean One. Now, I would like to use Plague Wind, really good spell for getting disease off and spreading disease to these fellow Gargants. However, all 3 Gargants in range of the spell had disease, so we had to go a different tactic. We started off, though, by casting the Burning Head. He came out here, and any eagle-eyed viewers will notice the whole Primal deck is out between me and Adam. We then tried to cast Fleshy Abundance, and we just didn't bother with that. Adam, however, decided it was time to cast another spell for a Gargant player.
Yeah, so apparently I'm master of magic in this game, and I managed to get a little Emerald Life Swarm out behind my 2 boys there.
So, revealing onto the movement phase then, we went for automatic run, automatic 6 straight away, command point, shot straight up the sides. We also ran our Plague Flies up the top there as well. They ran straight up the side. Now, following the destruction of our lovely 2 beasts of Nurgle, Slimek said, "No, I don't agree with this." And after a little bit of tactical manoeuvring himself, gave birth to another magnificent beast. He also, while at it, planted a new tree. This guy has been keeping up the garden for eons, and he shall continue to do so evermore. The Great Unclean One moved up, the Blightkings as well, and Morbidex went around the tree. Our Burning Head, though, unable to move as it's just been summoned. We encroach onto the movement phase, as Adam at this point wanted to save his command points for more defensive capabilities. We shot with the Burning Head, causing a couple of wounds. We licked for another wound from Morbidex, and we threw up on King Broad for another couple of wounds again from the Great Unclean One. And then we got into the fighting. We charged. Blightkings, Great Unclean One, Morbidex, all in. Our new beast of Nurgle tried but failed. And then, you may notice the Great Unclean One's rather far away for a charge roll. Because apparently King Broad can throw them over his head. So, we went first with the Blightkings into combat. Now, this is our one of the units in our General's Regiment. They are given priority target over Adam's General Regiment, which of course included this lovely Gargant here, so we hit him for plenty of wounds. Unfortunately, we had a little tussle over here with the Beast Smasher going into the Great Unclean One, and between him and Broad and the Emerald Life Swarm, who apparently is really hitty, managed to do a magnificent 12 wounds to the big boy. That's over half his health gone, and he ain't going to last much longer, to be perfectly honest. Did bring him out of the way with the Burning Jaws. We also had Morbidex. He didn't get a chance to swing, unfortunately. He was squished like a bug, apparently.
Like a Nurgling.
At the end of that, though, we then had a few tricks up our sleeve. So we did a few more wounds all round, but not as much as the Gargants. And then we started body parts everywhere, bloated with corruption, disease, and just racking up the disease points, racking up the mortal wounds all the way. Unable to get my last Gargant here, my enemy Gargant, on disease to give everyone additional mortal wounds, but we're working on it. However, Grandfather is giving, and he gave a massive 6 wounds back with Grandfather's gift to the Great Unclean One, leaving it only on 6 wounds. Adam was not impressed.
It's more stomping to do, isn't it?
However, like the turn before, we have our four objectives. We don't hold more. We achieved the battle tactic. Takes us to 8 all, with a priority in the making. I don't think I've got this.
Yeah, I'm going to take it. We'll grind their bones to make our bread, is what we thought, starting turn 2. And, well, actually, what we thought we'd do is grind their trees to make our bread, because we did take their land, and I said, I'm going to take your tree. I thought, since he generously popped up a tree in his territory for me, I would take their land and go and stand next to a tree. Rest of the hero phase, fairly straightforward. Nothing really happened. Brod tried to pray, rolled a 1, lost all of his prayers, so he's back to scratch. And Grimmy failed to get his own burning head out. So
Mine is the authentic one.
My claim of Master of Magic was
Very short-lived.
So movements. Pretty much everything was in combat, but the War Stomper came around, he saw a little unit, and he likes fighting units, or so I thought, more on that later. And the Gnashing Jaws, wasn't in combat after the body slam, so decided to roll a 666 and go whizzing over here and engaging some flies. Don't think you did any redeploys or anything this time, did you?
No, I did redeploy. I did redeploy our brand new Beast of Nurgle. He got a 1. And his plan was to go take the objective. And as you can see, the words can't express my disappointment.
He followed that roll of 1 by a roll of 4 to try and charge, didn't he? So
and I needed a 5.
It was a fine plan, and you needed a 5. So
I can run and charge in his opponent's
short by
turn.
1.
Doesn't work if you can't roll high enough anyway.
Shooting, I can't shoot in combat, so nothing happened there. So the War Stomper then charged, the Jaws charged, everything was in combat, just as we like it. And violence
Commence
ensued.
smash.
Violence ensued, which resulted in, I think we've halved the Blightkings, but we've killed 4 of them. And there is a great Unclean One sized hole.
I wouldn't visit that area of the board for a little while. It needs disinfecting at the moment. We are working on it though.
So yeah, the Beast Smasher had a little go and tickled him a bit, and then Brod decided to finish him off with the final blow being struck by his stompy feet. Grimmy,
which is how he went last time we fought as well.
Grimmy flattered to deceive this turn and only did 1 wound to the Blightkings, and then the Gnashing Jaws killed a fly. So lots of violence, lots of hand-rubbing glee by the Gargants, and because the War Stomper took one of Craig's objectives, we managed to do a 10-point turn, so we are 18-8 up with Nurgle turn 2 to come.
See you there. Well then, there has been much violence. I kind of like the idea of the Gargants now in a way, because they just smash everything, but we've tried to smash back. So, turn 2, I'm at 10-point disadvantage. How can we bring this back? Let me tell you, dear viewers. So, 2 wounds left on the Gargant. He's in the King's Regiment. Well, bet you're screaming at me now. Slay the tyrants! Or whatever it's called nowadays. But that's what we took. So,
Entourage.
Lady Entourage. Thank you. Getting caught up here. So, we picked that as a battle tactic. We went spellcasting and then we went straight past it. And I asked Adam if he wanted to spellcast, and he also said no, because command points are now short. We went to movement. We ran the Nurglings up. Top corner. We're here. Rolled a 6. steaming ahead. These Nurglings are keeping us in the game. Honestly, best unit ever. We also had a cheeky little tactic here. Plague drones have a nice little ability where they can retreat and charge later in the turn. So we flew out 8 inches. More on that to come. Horticulus did a little conversation that way. And then our Beast of Nurgle ran around the back of the tree, ready to engage Fester, as I've now remembered to call him the right name. No redeploys. No shooting at all. Everyone was in combat or not available. Charges. So we'll start with the Beast of Nurgle now, because he had a really fantastic time. As I continue to be sponsored by one. That Beast of Nurgle didn't like being brought back. Don't know why, but he's maybe waiting for the opportune moment to be proportionally better than himself from the last version. We went in with the Plague Drones, charged back into the Endless Spell. Horticulus even ran in with the Snail. Snail v Jaws, that's going to be epic.
Just on the Beast of Nurgle for a second, I think his run of dice has been 2 1-inch redeploys, a 1-inch run, and then a double 1 to charge.
Yes, it has.
Whereas the 2 units that only needed 3 to charge both rolled 9, I think.
9 above. You know, they were going the distance. Needless to say, it wasn't a 9-inch charge, but yes. They need teaching. They're only puppies. I can forgive them. It's fine. So, slay the Entourage, eh? Blightkings. Now, you're going to tell me I shouldn't have done this, and I did it anyway. I split my attacks. You should never split your attacks, but we did. 3 Blightkings into Grim. 3 into Broad. Fortunately, it worked. Like the only time this ever works. We failed the Gargant. We didn't fall the Gargant entirely in the direction we wanted to. It did kind of slam back to us, damage the tree a little bit. But we took down the Gargant. We've slayed the Entourage. We've got our battle tactic. We've got objectives. Now we just have to survive. We go off a bit more after King Broad. We brought him down. He's only got 12 wounds left. It's 40 wound monstrosity. Work in progress. And then after that, the spellcasters died. So the only spell's just up and left. So I'm not in combat here anymore. I'm still getting the objective. But I wanted to fight the Jaws. And the War Stomper uprooted, buried, sawed off, chainsaw, any way you like it. The tree's not there anymore. However, dear viewers, 18 all. We've achieved the objective to score equal points. No underdogs. We don't do underdogs here. We're better than that. However, you ready? Priority roll.
Oh, it's a reversal.
It's a reversal. Oh.
Do you want another 10-point turn? Or do you want to take it?
To be honest, I might have to take this, because if I give Adam the turn, Blightkings go bye-bye. And I don't like Blightkings to go bye-bye. I need to damage first. So I'll see you when I'm dead. Right, this is now an uphill battle, or an up Gargant battle, realistically. But they're so big. How did they get that big? So, we took the turn. At that point, I felt I had to take the turn, otherwise I was being paced into smush. Repeatedly. And it could still happen, but hopefully I can wound Broad a little bit more. Everyone's taking wounds, everyone's diseased, everyone's taking additional mortal wounds. I can get more objectives, hopefully. Who knows? So, battle tactic, done. Spells, done. Nothing in your turn, hero phase either, so done. So, on to movement. We got our Nurglings up here. We ran across this objective. Haven't quite got there yet, but working on it. Nurglings keeping in the backfield, just doing their thing at the moment. Plague Drones dropped over here. Nice 8-inch movement. He went for a run. He was a 1. Again. Theme here, boys. We do, however, decide it's time for our yellow Beast of Nurgle here to pop out the ground and starts 9 inches away down here. And then we position the red one somewhere down here to kind of ready to charge in. Now at this point I'd like to use Attention Seekers for the D3 mortal wounds, but I want to also charge Broad, which means I can't do that. I have to use the closest target, so I have to go for regular charging. More on that in 2 seconds actually. Shooting, no one does that anymore. It's old fashioned, it's past the times. Charges, red went for a charge. I rolled a 3 and I'm 3 inches away from the wrong Gargant. So I'll make do with what I've got. However, our yellow Beast of Nurgle was very eager. Rolls a 10 and just whoops straight into Fester like there's no tomorrow. Fester didn't see this coming at all. Did a healthy 3 mortal wounds on top of that. Even though they get the 6 at war for being close to each other, didn't stop it. The plague drones also flew in the side, and we've kind of done a little bit of piling in round Fester to try and keep Broad in combat. I need to keep him in as much as possible. The Blightkings are holding firm. I've left the all-out defense on there for a reason, because they took 1 model and 2 wounds for their chores, and it's the all-out defense that saved them. A really nice 2-up save when we need it most. Take that off now. In the combat though, Broad said it wasn't a great and clean one, and I'm not interested. And subsequently did how many? Anything?
Not a lot. He did so little that the War Stomper actually did more than him.
War Stomper did more. The king of the Gargants. I believe War Stomper's quite low level. I don't know how the structure goes, but there we go. Fester as well got tied up with everything. But the Blightkings, style of the show here, a 2-up save, rolling hot with 4 5s and 6s all round. -3 rend, doesn't phase. Lost 1 model and a couple of wounds, but they're holding. They will see the end of Broad if they die with it, but they will see the end of Broad. However, after all this said and done, some of the disease didn't happen, but everything took a mortal wound from Mutate on the Blessed Bad Plague Father. I only got 6 points. It was a risk. It puts me on 24. However, all 3 Gargants in combat. I don't know how the battle tactics are on Adam's side, but I'm hoping they're not brilliant. And I have the vast majority of objectives, so fingers crossed.
Well, viewers, it may just be that my golden goose is cooked, because we've just had a turn. So, yeah, turn 3. We've not got much of a hero phase anymore. We decided to go for Slay the Entourage, because there were only 2 Blightkings left. And we thought, well, how hard can that be? So we went for that. We don't have any magic anymore. Broad prayed. He rolled a 4, so he still can't pray for anything because he needs at least 5 to do that. And that was hero phase. Then movement, everything was in combat, so it couldn't move. Shooting,
I had a cheeky little redeploy for the Nurglings up the top.
The Nurglings are onto another objective. But yeah, movement, there was no movement. Shooting, I don't have any shooting left. Charges, everything was in combat, so we went to combat. And Stompy began by killing one of the Blightkings, and I thought, well, that's a good start.
We reserved 1 command point for all that defence. Thank God it was needed.
Because I rolled a 1 for the roar and a 1 for jumping up and down on them as well. So no rampages. So yeah, killed 1 Blightking. You may notice I'm repeating this. And I thought, yeah, well, Brod's got this.
Brod doesn't have this.
Brod did not have this. Brod decided to get his pillow out, I think. Or
There's a nice little rock on his base as a decoration. I feel he just sat on it.
Yeah.
And stayed.
I mean, I don't know if he's thinking, I took out the Great Unclean One, what more do you want from me? But yeah, just 1 stinking Blightking, Brod, come on. I mean, even the Beast Smasher decided to kill 2 flies by himself.
Yeah, quite happily. Didn't break a sweat at all. Fester is doing his job, but
yeah, Brodfrey's trouble is now on just 2 wounds remaining. So and we've not been able to clear anything. The Nurglings are taking objectives off me, so I'm only holding 2 at the moment. I mean, fortunately, that gets me 4 points, which is something. So we now suddenly find ourselves as the underdog and behind, heading into turn 4. And we need to figure out who's taking turn 4.
I think I shall continue what I started last turn. Then, so we took the turn. I don't know what to quite do at this point, so checking our battle tactics. Now I can do one as well. We decide take their land. I've got a unit of 3 Nurglings that are being really pesky, going everywhere they shouldn't, and no one's looked at them sideways. So that's what they're going to do. So, hero phase, very simple. Nada. Nothing to do. We've picked a battle tactic, done. Movement. We auto-run the Nurglings. Straight up to a nice little building there in his deployment zone. That's now mine. The Gargant can't get away from the Beast of Nurgle and everything else that was around it. I think another Beast of Nurgle at this point. And then we just devolved into... well, actually, first thing we did, Horticulus came around, dumped out another tree. He's protecting the rear of him. You know, at the end of the day, Gargant's going to struggle to get round there now, and it is just above 4 inches, so he can't use his long shanks to get over it. Get the feeling, though, he's about to beat a tree up, whichever way you look at it. Then we went straight to combat. So, he roared the Blight King. The Blight King's like, I've got this, but we'll see what happens. Blight King goes first. No all-out attack, but it's against Bod still, so I still get my +1 tip, +1 to win. It's still the King's Regiment. Bod fell. I won the roll off as well to see where he landed, and Festus didn't see King Bod landing in his face, but it happened for another, was it 2 mortal wounds?
I think so, yeah. So Brod's 40 wounds, and now the rule is that if there's a Gargant that's got fewer wounds than him, then he can take the mortal wounds from him falling onto him. So yeah, Brod fell onto his toe. And
apparently that hurt. After that though, the war stump went, you killed my boss. And thoroughly squished that Blight King out. But the Blight King went, it's fine. We've taken 2 Gargants. We've held up 2 Gargants. We've dealt with them. I'm happy. I can die in peace. We'll be resurrected as a Plague Bearer sometime in the near future. After that, we had the yellow Beast of Nurgle come in, and we put all that attack on, and the yellow Beast of Nurgle went for a lot of slapping and did quite a few wounds to this Gargant. I dare say MVP's a bit more up for debate now. The red one, though.
5 attacks.
5 attacks.
Hit wounded with all of them.
Hit wounded with everything. 3 save, but still pulled out 5 wounds out of the bag, which one, again, just no ward save anymore because King Bod was gone, and just in we went. The red one, though, unfortunately, unable to continue any aspect of doing anything well, just died. All out defense, didn't mean anything. So, rest in peace. But, at the end of that, got 1 Gargant, 30 wounds, 5 to go. Another Gargant, 3 wounds to go, both diseased. However, might be a bit cheeky rallying around here, but it only deals with disease at this point. Now he's actually got out of combat properly. Don't know how it's going to go, but we took a straight 10-point lead, so...
I think I know how it's going, because my 150 wound army is now on 8 wounds remaining. So,
but they're still there.
Yeah.
It's fine. We'll see what happens next.
Well, it seems Jack is chopping down the beanstalk, and Yeah, we're running out of Gargants, weirdly. So turn 4, we're going to do our best stay back in it. So thought I can possibly do Not Waver. I've got a Beast Smasher in combat with a Beast of Nurgle, and I've got a tree to go and beat up over there. So as long as I can keep them alive and fight with them both, easier said than done perhaps. Again, it was a really quick turn because neither of us really have anything to do in the command phase. The movement phase didn't take very long. Neither of us shoot. I charged so that I could do impact hits into the tree. Did a couple, I think. Oh no, didn't do any.
No, you didn't do any on that one.
Impact hits.
You needed the 2 up on the D3
and rolled a 2 on the D6. So the Beast Smasher actually took care of the Beast of Nurgle, little blondie who was running around here.
As the name depicts as well, and very viciously as well. I needed a lot of ward saves. Not passed.
And the War Stomper couldn't smash a tree.
Did 5 wounds in the end.
Yeah, did his best,
but then the tree did something worse.
He needs to. I mean, he needs to equip himself with an axe instead of a club. I think next time he takes
4 to infect with disease. Lands disease on him. Both models are now diseased, so I mutate a mortal wound each, and it came up to: can I roll a 3 up on both dice to remove both Gargants from the game? Stompy had his antibiotics. Fester had not. Cost you the battle tactic though.
It did indeed. So yeah,
you did take that objective back. It's now
I did.
Yours. It's now yours. Consolation.
I mean, it comes something when Craig's trying to give me consolation prizes. So I think the COVID test is coming up positive right now, and we'll roll off turn 5.
Nice, easy 3.
No one.
I'll finish this up quick. Don't worry.
Conclusion time, folks. So, well, Adam said, I don't want to put you through and then shush you. We don't want to
activate smug mode.
Smug mode, yeah. Shush. So we decided not to put Adam through a turn 5. So Craig just went, right, I'm going to go attack on 2 fronts, which we did. Nurglings grabbed another objective, and Horticulus came over and with the tree tickled the final Gargant, and it fell over. Adam didn't have anything else to do in his turn 5, hence, here we are. That's it.
Done and dusted.
So, it looked so good for about 3 turns.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't looking my way, definitely the first 2.
No.
I was not expecting
I thought
the
you were
swing.
going to be run over.
Pretty much, I was expecting it.
Yeah, that was it.
We got rid of the General, we got rid of the Great Unclean One, we started getting through the Blightkings. And
everything was going fine.
That's the 3 danger units.
They're gone?
Apparently no, the danger unit is the Nurglings.
Yeah. Who knew that, 12 wounds of just
Gribbly
little beasties running around going, heh.
Literally giggling at everything that walks past.
So they took in total
about
1, 2, 3, 4 objectives in the end?
Yeah, 4 objectives. 2 battle tactics as well. By themselves.
I mean, who knew it's an objective game, and there were 8 objectives and I only had 4 models. So,
but you got big models.
And you were making it look good early on.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of his problem.
I thought as long as I could keep killing him, I can.
And the first 2 turns, you were doing just that.
Then the double came in. You took the risk.
I think that worked. That worked.
Yeah, I think because the Blightkings could have possibly been finished off then in your 3, but you took the 3, then kept pushing it back over, which then allowed you to nick into Adam's territory.
Yeah,
that was sort of started turning the tide, and then it was like the 4 became 3, 3 became 2, 2 became 1,
just started getting me.
That was it. Once the disease starts to
be honest, disease was pulling out half the wounds across the whole battle was disease.
And the tally kicks in the
second
turn onwards. You get the extra
+1,
disease.
and with only 4 models, I hit the extra mutate real quickly, so I get an additional mortal wound and everything. So maximum 5 a turn, twice a battle round, all game.
Yeah,
it adds up real quick.
It's worth saying there's a bit of a backstory to this matchup. The last time we played, I actually scored 50, and I think I'd won the game after turn 2.
After turn 2, I think I didn't even hit 20, output, I don't think.
And this time the damage output just didn't happen, and the disease started kicking in.
It went the other way this time, didn't it?
And we said after that last game, Nurgle hit you late game, and that's what you did.
And you stopped him getting to late game last time, but this time you couldn't stop him going to the late game. The late game started to wear you down. And in fairness, out of all the objectives to draw out the hat, 8 objectives for 4 models is a tough shout.
I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch for me. Even I don't have so many units, but for 4, definitely an issue.
It's a real struggle. But no, I think you both did very well though. But so your model of the match.
I've been thinking about this because all 4 of them had good moments.
They all had defining moments.
And they all had moments where I wanted to hurl them across the room.
You nearly did a couple of times.
Yeah.
Well, let's count them down to 4-1 then. Who's in 4th place?
No, I think I'm leaning towards Brod just because he got rid of the Great Unclean One.
Okay.
Despite his monumental fluff of turn.
I was going to say...
He just then decided that his work was done, so
he was going to go home.
I've killed the big thing. Done. He's the big guy. Why
there is a shout for the War Stomper because he was the one that survived the longest.
Yeah.
He did. He pulled out a few surprising wounds, actually.
Yeah.
I was expecting to go, he's lowest on the rank, I'll be fine. I can... Oh, wait, why have my models died?
The Beast Smasher did well. There was a lot of stuff went into him and he survived quite well. He did kill a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, weirdly, the most disappointing one was probably the Gatebreaker.
He had all the shiny stuff.
Yeah. Grimmy. He had it, cast all the spells, but he was the spellcaster.
He did not bring his fighting fist.
He wasn't fighting fist. No. And we don't even need to ask you.
Well, it's kind of strange,
Surely.
It's between the Nurgles and the Nurglings.
A new unit, folks, if you want to watch the new unit.
The new book, Clerical pointed that one.
Clerical point out, it's a new unit, the Nurgles.
So between the Nurglings and the Beast of Nurgle with the yellow head.
The yellow, not the red one. So
no, the redhead just died.
Forget
Blondie.
No offense to you redheads out there, but blondes are obviously his preference. We honestly know that's not true. He's changed that.
But she pulled out so much late game. It took a while to remove her in the end.
Loads of damage went out through her, but I think your Nurglings took
the Nurglings take the game completely realistically.
Like you say, 4 objectives, 2 battle tactics. Surely.
Yeah.
And they weren't even touched.
They weren't even touched. They slid up the side, went along, and just
I know from previous occasions, if I try to go into them, they just stay there and annoy me.
They do.
So
they do.
Just like
ignore
Blightkings.
them, and they just score 20 points by themselves.
So next time, go kill them.
Yeah.
All right then. So, well, on that bombshell, we hope you've enjoyed that. I know I did watching it. Hopefully you did at home too. If you have, by all means, check out the website. We can check out some other ones. And by all means, watch again. We've got more.
We'd love you to comment all about it. And don't forget, Go Trek.
Yeah, where was he? Where was he? Did you see him?
I don't think I did see him, actually.
Did you see him?
I don't think I did. I missed him.
You missed him.
I better rewatch.
You're not tall enough. You watch. He saw him. But yeah, I saw him. Did you see him? If you like say, do comment below.
The Gatebreaker saw him.
Gatebreaker saw him. Didn't see the Nurglings though, did he? But anyway.
No one ever sees the
Nurglings. It's like the Spanish Inquisition, but for Nurglings. That Nurgles unit. Right, okay. So before we waffle on all night, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, bye!